All right, so welcome to Back to the Mat Challenge. Day one, we're going to be focusing on the earth element. So re-establishing our wellness routine, our yoga practice, channeling the earth element. So I'll be jumping up, I'll be at the computer kind of watching you guys, but I'll also do a little bit of demonstrating. So to get started, find a seat on your mat, maybe with some props underneath if you like. You're welcome to sit cross-legged, you're welcome to sit on your knees, whatever's most appropriate to your body, and we'll begin. So go ahead, close your eyes. And finding Prithvi is the earth element, what we call earth in Sanskrit. We'll take this mudra. So your ring finger will touch your thumb. The tip of the ring finger kind of just comes to the thumb, and then the other fingers will be extended. So if you need to take a quick peek, look up at the camera at me, and I'm demonstrating my other fingers are extended, and then the ring finger and thumb touch for Prithvi mudra. And then you can place the backs of the hands on your knees, maintaining this mudra for the earth element. Close your eyes once you settle back in. Let's just take a deep inhale collectively. And then exhale out the mouth. Again, like that, inhale. And exhale. And then let the lips close and breathe in and out of the nose. Bringing your awareness down into your body. In our yoga practice, we often try to bring a deeper awareness and connection to our body, hopefully, in our daily practice, but especially with the earth element, the connection to our body, to our bones, to our flesh, to our muscles, and the connection to the earth. So feeling your sit bones, feeling whatever is contacting the ground, really kind of give into that gravity or feel supported by that earth underneath you. So without slumping, try to lift up the upper body, the upper chakras away from the ground, but feel this base and this solid anchoring through those sit bones. Scan your body for any tension or holding patterns. Starting to really deepen that connection to your body. So how did you sleep last night? Is there a crink in your neck? Have you been carrying a baby on one hip and sore in your back? Do you sit at a computer all day and you're hunching over? Just notice some of your daily patterns and use this time on the mat to connect to the body on a deeper level. And then try to breathe out some of that tension and soften. Channeling the power of the earth, the energy of the earth, but also feeling supported. The earth element is all about edges and feeling our body in space and boundaries. There's a limitation to where we are in space. And we can think of that and feel supported by this boundary in our bodies, and then how we approach life, carving out our own boundaries. So just keep that in mind. Try not to attach too much to a story that might come up for you as that word resonates to you. Just keep it in mind through the practice. And an affirmation I offer you today as you sit in silence or as you move in the practice is, I'm connected to my body and earth. I'm connected to my body and to earth. Or all my basic needs are met. All my basic needs are met. Or I have a right to be here. I have a right to be here, to take up space on my mat, to take up space in this world. There's a sound or a bija seed sound connected to this earth element, which is a lam. It's a deep, low, resonating sound. We'll begin the practice with chanting lam 3 times. Sit up tall, take a deep inhale. Lam. Just observe where those vibrations land in your body. Bring awareness down to your feet, to your legs, to your pelvis. And when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. Good. Release the mudra. Inhale, reach the arms out to the side, all the way up to the sky. Look up, palms touch. And then exhale, forward fold over your legs. Stay here for a couple of breaths. Inhale. You don't need to push it. Just gently awakening the hips and the back. Breathe in. Breathe out. Try to relax in the head and the shoulders. One more inhale. And exhale. Then walk your hands over to the right hand side, staying nice and low. Try to anchor through that left sit bone. If it tries to come up, try to send the energy down back towards the ground. And breathe into the side. Inhale. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale, staying nice and low, walk through center, all the way down through to the other side, left side. Relax the head, relax the shoulders, anchor through the right sit bone, breathe into that right side now. Inhale. And exhale. One more like that, inhale. And exhale. Walk your hands all the way back to center, staying low, and then support your torso by using your hands to walk yourself back up. Good. Let's come into Backl Konasana. So bring the feet out and cross the legs and bring the soles of the feet together. It doesn't have to be a deep Backl Konasana. We're going to just massage the feet here. So take your hands onto your thumbs. Your thumbs onto your feet, that would be tricky, and begin to just massage through the feet. So the feet is our, as bipeds, our first contact to the earth, to the ground. So we want to wake up the energy channels, the nadis or the meridians in the feet, just leaving the muscles. So give yourself some foot love. A nice circulation here for the feet as well. Wakening them up. Bring them to the mat, bring them to the stay. You can even give them a little slap, or maybe take your fists and press deeply into them. Good. A little self-foot massage you can do anytime. All right, let's release the feet, close the legs, and make your way onto your knees. So curl the toes under for a toe stretch here. So the toes are tucked under, you're sitting onto your heels and your hands are on your thighs. Close your eyes maybe here as we settle into this deep stretch. Once again, kind of awakening the energy in the feet in this toe stretch. Reach up through the crown of the head, breathe in, breathe out. As we hold this pose, just start to notice your mind-body connection. So as the body is kind of put under a test here or a challenge, how does the mind react? Really harnessing and bringing in this awareness of the mind and body through our practice so we can take this awareness off the mat. Stick with it. Notice your breathing. Did it get shallow? Did it get interrupted? Can you continue to have long, deep inhales, full, deep exhales? Staying here for about 5 more breaths. Can you soften in places where you hold the tension once again in the jaw, maybe in the shoulders? The tongue, is it stuck to the roof of the mouth? Try to soften the tongue away from the roof of the mouth. Take one more big breath in. And then exhale, gingerly come off of your toes, flip the feet under, spread the knees wide for a nice wide-legged child's pose. So reach your arms forward, bow your head down, and feel the earth underneath you. Feel the support of the ground underneath you. Feeling the power of Mother Earth and knowing it is always there to hold you and give you support. In fact, this is a great place to kind of surrender or release anything that isn't serving you. With the earth element, often there's the opposition of the support, the groundedness is anxiety or fear or worry. So when we're not tapped into that earth element, this might rise up for you. So use this child's pose to release any anxieties or fears or doubts you might have in your life. Take a moment to identify something that you can surrender to the ground. You can give it back to the earth and out of your system. Take one more deep inhale here. Full exhale. Begin to make your way into a downward facing dog. Lifting the hips up high and back. And then again, just using this time to see what your body needs, right? Not our habitual way of entering this pose, but what do you need right now? Do you need stillness? Do you need to feel the ground supporting you underneath your hands and your feet, or do you need some movement? Do you need to wiggle and wag the tail back and forth to free up the spine? Or do you need to just deeply connect to the breath? Wherever you are is great, is where you need to be. Begin now to walk your feet towards your hands to the top of the mat for a wide-legged forward fold. So feet can be about hip width, or if you're feeling a little bit wider today, that's great as well. Taking up space, claiming your mat. Maybe shake the head out a little bit, maybe sway the body side to side, but feeling really firm in your feet and your foundation. Notice where your weight is distributed in your feet. Do you tend to sit back into the heels? Can you bring the weight a little bit more forward? What does that do? Does that require you to engage a little bit more in the quads or the core? And then slowly begin to rise up, really planting through those feet. Bend the knees slightly. Use the muscles of your legs as you roll the spine, uncurling, unfurling all the way up, little by little to stand. And we'll stand in a Tadasana mountain pose. So feet are hip width apart for this. Spread your toes wide. Reach your fingertips wide as well. Palms face forward for a nice, proud, tall mountain. You can keep your eyes open here, or you can close your eyes as you settle into Tadasana. Drishti, right now we are doing a Tadasana challenge, holding this pose for 5 minutes. In fact, Carrie and I just did this before we jumped onto the class today, and it really grounded myself before I started teaching. So this is a great pose, simple, but really can connect us to our bodies, where our bodies are in space, and feeling the support of the earth under us. So let's fine tune Tadasana a little bit. So maybe soften in the knees a little bit and see what that does. Can you lift your toes off the floor, spread them even wider? And again, notice where your weight is. Are you shifting back into the heels? Does one glute fire and the other one is soft? Can you try to find balance with how you distribute your weight on your legs and your pelvis? And what about your upper body? Do you tend to arch the back, or do you tend to slump and round in the back? Try to find a nice neutral spine, reaching up through the crown of the head and soften through those shoulders. How does this make you feel as you stand here, proud and tall and stable like a mountain? Are you anxious and irritated and ready to get moving, or can you settle and be here in this moment, on your mat, in this body, with your breath? For the sake of time, we won't hold the pose for 5 minutes, but I encourage you guys to join us this month and try standing in Tadasana for 5 minutes. When you're ready, open your eyes. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky, palms touch, look up, draw the navel in and up, and then exhale, reach the arms back down. Just simple movement there. Inhale, reach the arms up, gaze up, and exhale, release the arms down. Reaching through the side body here. Inhale, out through the side, gaze up. Feel your body in space, taking up more room. One more time. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, release down. Good. This time, inhale, bend the knees, sit back into chair pose, reach the arms forward and up, a wide-legged chair pose or a hip width chair pose. Sit back into those heels, soften through the shoulders, draw the navel in and up. Breathe in, breathe out. Sit a little bit deeper. Breathe in, feel the muscles of the body starting to fire up. Breathing out. One more big breath in. And as you exhale, forward fold over the legs. Good. Heel toe your feet now as wide as your mat. Turn the toes out and heels in. Bend the knees, lower the seat, and come into a Malasana squat. If you need to sit up on some props, if you have blocks, feel free, or cushions, or even books, you can sit on this support if this is too much on the knees or the ankles or the hips. Otherwise, settle in here to Malasana, a really great posture for this first element, the earth element, the pelvic floor, getting a nice stretch and working at the same time. In fact, this is a great place to engage in Mula Bandha, the root bandha. So take an inhale here. As you exhale, draw the pelvic floor in and up into the body. Inhale, release, spread the muscles wide. And then exhale, squeeze, pull in, draw in, up into the body, feeling the core engage as you do that. And then inhale, release. Exhale, pull in and up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And release. And again, on the exhale, contract the pelvic floor, sit up tall, reach up through the crown of the head, press the knees away, and release the pelvic floor. Good. Plant the hands down onto the ground, lift the hips up high, heel toe the feet. So the feet are now together, big toes touching. Inhale, hands to the shins, look up, halfway lift. And then exhale, bend the knees, hand to the floor, step the left leg back for a low lunge. Back knees on the floor, you can cushion up the back knee, interlace the fingers, and then press that front thigh away from you. Breathe in, lift through the sternum, breathe out. Inhaling, try to press the right foot forward and the left foot back, moving in opposition. One more big inhale. And then as you exhale, send the hips back, straighten the front leg, peel the toes off the floor, bring blocks under your hands if you need, or books. Inhale, look forward, exhale, fold over for half split or Ardha Hanuman. Opening up the backs of the legs, right? The legs transfer the energy of the earth up into the body, into our chakra system, into our energetic systems. So opening up, getting the channels open, getting the circulation, the prana flowing through these stretches. One more big breath in. As you exhale, bend the knee, walk your hands forward, curl the back toes under, and then just step to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, hands to the shins, look up, halfway lift. Exhale, bend the knees deeply, hands to the floor, step the right leg all the way back to a low lunge. Walk the hands up the leg, interlace the fingers, press the front thigh away, open the chest, breathe in, breathe out. So for some of you who like to go into a deep back bend, see if you can try to explore this pose in a more neutral way, or thinking about where your feet are in space. Can you continue to send them away from each other? Sending the prana in opposition or taking up more space, taking up more energetic space, or sending that prana out in different directions and not just through the pelvis, not just through a back bend. Take one more big breath in. As you exhale, straighten that front leg, peel the toes off, hands, frame the front leg. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, fold over that front leg. Again, opening up the eye of that left knee now. Inviting some movement and some space into the back of the leg. Keep actively pulling those left toes back and keep reaching the chest forward. Check in with your breath. And then go ahead, rebend that front leg, walk your hands forward, curl the back toes under. This time, shoot the left leg back to plank pose and hold in plank. You can lower the knees at any time in your plank pose or keep the knees lifted. And notice your connection to the ground in this position. Draw the navel in and up. And remember, at any time, you can lower the knees down. We're going to lower all the way onto the belly for a count of 5, 4, bending the elbows, 3, 2, 1. Good. Reach the arms out wide like you're hugging the ground. Have your feet hip width, tops of the feet on the floor, and just turn one cheek to the mat. And then just reaching out again, feeling the support of the earth underneath you. And then switch the opposite cheek to the mat. And then bring your hands by your chest, bring your forehead to the floor. Inhale, lift up into a baby cobra, reaching the chest forward and up. Good. Curl the toes under. If you can, press yourself back up to a plank pose or onto hands and knees. And then back to your downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the right leg up into the sky, 3-legged downward facing dog. And then flex the foot. Good. Point the foot and then flex the foot. Go back and forth, pointing and flexing to really open up that channel of the leg and the foot, bringing awareness to our feet. And maybe take some ankle rolls in both directions. Breathing as you move, as you bring awareness to the foot and the leg. And then lower that foot down and switch sides. Inhale, reach the opposite leg up into the sky. Flex the foot and then point the foot. Try to square your hips off, so lower that left hip for now. Point and flex a few times back and forth and really be intentional about that movement. Can you flex even deeper or point even more as you arch the foot? And reach out through the heel. And then rotate the ankle in several directions in both ways. And notice the opposite foot on the ground. Is that rooted and planted and connected to the earth firmly with a good stability here? Lower that foot down, the leg down. Inhale, come forward to plank pose and hold here. You're welcome to lower the knees at any time or even come onto forearms if that's more appropriate for you. Breathe in, draw that navel in and up, breathe out, press the ground away from you, gaze slightly forward, shift the weight slightly forward. Ah, good. And then lower for a count of 5, 4, lowering the knees at any time if you need, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, come up into a baby cobra. Draw the navel in and up to lift you up. And then exhale, step or press your way back to downward facing dog. Inhale, reach the right leg up into the sky. And then bend the knee, and this time open the hip. Good. Notice what happens to your shoulders though. Can you have the same foundation in your shoulders and your upper body as you isolate the hips? So square off the shoulders or level the shoulders and take the motion and the movement into the pelvis as you open the leg out to the side. Re-square the hips, extend the leg out. And then as you come forward, you're going to bring your right knee to your right shoulder in plank pose. right knee to right shoulder, and hold here. You can lower the knee at any time, the left leg, and hold, hold, hold. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Draw the navel in and up, firing up and through the core. Strong, stable pose here. And then step the foot to the outside of the hand and lower the back knee onto the floor for lizard. Come onto your forearms or maybe stay up onto your hands, or find blocks if you need. A deep lizard stretch here in the pelvis, awakening this region, this center. The back of the foot, the back foot can be relaxed. The chest can keep reaching forward. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more full inhale. And then exhale, come up onto your hands if you're not already. And then step back to downward facing dog. Stay here or use child's pose or take a vinyasa. Move with intention, follow your body's guide, your body's lead. And then we'll move to the other side. So from downward facing dog, when you're ready, inhale, left leg reaches up into the sky. Bend the knee, open the hip. Again, notice where your torso is in space. Can you keep that level and isolate in the pelvis as much as you can? Just bringing awareness. Breathe in here. Breathing out. Spread your fingers wide. And then square your hips off, extend that leg, and then bring the knee to the outside of the left shoulder here. Hold here and hover. Try to lift the knee as high as you can. Good. High up onto that arm, really setting us up for arm balances eventually, maybe. Or retuning, refining this posture, getting good core strength and hip opening. Land that foot to the outside of the hand, lower the back knee down. And come on to any variation. Maybe you come onto your forearms, maybe you come onto blocks, maybe your fingertips are on the ground. Try to make this more of an active pose. So hug that knee in towards your leg. You can make, I mean active when the front leg, the back leg can be on the ground for this round. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And out. When you're ready, come back up. And lift your way back to downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to your plank pose. And lower through knees, chest chin or chaturanga, or upward facing dog or low cobra. And exhale back to downward facing dog. Good. Walk your feet towards the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, big toes touching. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, sit into chair pose. Reach the arms up. Good. You can bring the palms together or keep the hands shoulder width wherever you'd like. Or bring hands into prayer. Any option is good. Shift the weight back, brighten the heart wherever you are. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, look up, halfway lift. And step, jump, take a vinyasa, skip a vinyasa, whatever you'd like. Meet in downward facing dog. Do you. Good. This time, inhale, we're going to flow a little bit more here. Inhale, reach the right leg up into the sky. Exhale, bring the right knee to the right shoulder in plank pose, gaze forward. Inhale, back to three-legged downward facing dog. Exhale, knee to the outside of the right shoulder. Inhale, three-legged downward facing dog. Exhale, knee to the outside of the shoulder. Inhale, three-legged downward facing dog. Exhale, knee to the outside of the shoulder and hold here. Breathe. Try not to collapse. Lift up. Feel the sturdiness of the ground underneath you. Step the foot to the outside of the hand. And this time, keep the back knee lifted. If you want to wiggle the right shoulder underneath the right arm and take airplane, so right shoulder would go underneath the right leg and reach the arms out to a T shape. Press through the back foot, lift the back leg strongly. Breathe in, breathe out. One more full inhale. If you're in airplane, release the hands down onto the ground. And then this time, step the back foot to the outside of the left hand for Malasana squat. So step forward and lower the seat and find squat pose here. Hands can be in prayer, and you can stay here, right here, or work for a half bind, a full bind, or if you'd like to move into Bakasana, crow pose, lift the hips up, plant the hands down, and find your arm balance here in crow pose, maybe. And then when you're ready, make your way into a forward fold. Heel toe your feet back together, big toes touching. Inhale, hands to the shins, halfway lift. Exhale, step, jump, flow through or skip a vinyasa. The body has the intelligence beyond the mind, so trust this body wisdom. Move within your body in this moment. Inhale, reach the left leg up into the sky, three-legged downward facing dog. Exhale, bring the knee to the outside of the left shoulder. Inhale, three-legged downward facing dog. Exhale, knee to the outside of the shoulder. Come forward. Inhale, reach the leg back up, three-legged downward facing dog. Exhale, knee to shoulder. And one more. Inhale, three-legged downward facing dog. Exhale, knee to the outside of the shoulder and hold here. Plant the foot to the outside of the hand. Keep the back leg lifted this time if possible. Find those props if you need them. And then either stay where you are or maybe take that left shoulder underneath the left leg and spread your arms wide, maybe. Really press through that back foot. Send energy through the back leg as the body is reaching forward. Make the back line work as well. Breathe deep. Does your breath get restricted as we move into more challenging poses? Can you come back to easy, full, conscious breath? Letting our bodies be sturdy but flexible to allow our minds to be sturdy and yielding. Release the arms if they're in airplane and step forward again to Malasana squat pose. Again, option to play around in stillness or binding or taking an arm balance. And then when you're ready, take a forward fold. Have your feet hip width apart this time, and we'll take our hands underneath our feet. So bend your knees as much as you need to slide your hands underneath your feet, to stand on your hands, to stretch out the wrists and give your hands a nice break. Shift the weight slightly forward, releasing the head and breathing. Inhale, look up, release the hands, heel toe your feet back together. Exhale, fold again. Inhale, halfway lift to prepare. And then exhale, step, jump, take a vinyasa or skip it. Meeting back in downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your right leg up into the sky. Exhale, step the foot in between the hands and rise up from the center, from your core. Press through the feet for warrior one. Back heel on the floor. You might need to adjust the front leg so the hips can become more centered or squared. Drawing the right hip back, the left hip forward. Taking your arms in any position, feeling like a warrior, feeling strong and rooted here in Virabhadrasana. Bend a little bit deeper into that front leg, and then press through the back leg as well. Open the hips, open the arms, warrior two. Finding a stable warrior two. Working with Mula Bandha once again. Inhale, prepares. Exhale, draw the pelvic floor in and up, squeeze and tighten. Does that help support your back here as you engage the core through this pelvic floor? Inhale, release, let go, soften those muscles. Exhale, contract and pull in and up. Inhale, release. Exhale, squeeze, pull in and up, tighten. Soften the shoulders. Inhale, release. Exhale, contract and pull, engage. Inhale, release. Exhale, contract. Inhale, release. Straighten the front leg. Keep the arms out, parallel the feet. So turn the right toes in. Good. Now turn the heels in, toes out, bend the knees, goddess pose. Bring the arms into cactus shape. And we'll stay here in cactus for quite some time. So channel the sturdiness of the earth, the power and the support. Open those knees wide, press through those feet, spread the toes wide, and reclaim your space in this world. Reclaim your spot, your right to be here, as Anadea says. Lengthen the tailbone down towards the floor. Breathe in. Breathe out. Spread those fingers wide. Keep those elbows lifted as high as your shoulders. Can you sink a little bit deeper into this goddess pose and feel the strength and power of your own body? Let that fuel you. 3 more deep breaths. Be in this breath and not the next. And then go ahead, straighten the front of both legs. Extend the arms out to the side, parallel the feet. Bring the hands to the hips. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands down to the ground. And take any variation of a hand position for your forward fold. You might use support, so you might take a twist. You might want to bring the hands onto through the legs behind you or onto the feet, whatever is calling to you today. Through form, there is freedom. So through this earth element, we come back to laying our foundation brick by brick. And then once we have that steady form, and once we've created these boundaries, then we have freedom to explore and play. So contact the floor intentionally with those feet to have a solid foundation here. And turn your right toes towards the front of the mat. Bend the knees and flip the left toes off the floor for Skandasana. So right toes are turned, bend the right knee and lean into that right leg for this nice hip stretch. Again, you can use props. If this is too deep, you can stay up higher. If you're nice and low, bring the hands into prayer, flex that left foot. Maybe work with extending the arms and working with a bind or a half bind, maybe. Or just work within your limits, within the boundaries of where you are today. Take another full cycle of breath here. And then as you exhale, you're going to pivot off the back foot, walk to the front of the mat to come into the lizard lunge once again. So keep rotating the pelvis forward and take your legs with you. The right leg still on the outside of the right arm. And then keep the back knee lifted so the back toes are tucked under to keep the leg lifted. And again, stay here in lizard, any variation, or maybe airplane. Or if you have Kundinyasana in your practice, bring that right shoulder underneath the right leg, plant the hands onto the floor, shift the weight forward, and begin to pivot off the back foot and extend the right leg in front of you for your arm balance, maybe. Or just once again, be comfortable, accepting of where your body is, and stay in any variation that's suitable to you. Maybe you're exploring, maybe you're being grounded in one choice. Make your way back to downward facing dog. Maybe you're flowing through a vinyasa, maybe you're resting in child's pose. To prepare for the other side. Inhale, left leg reaches up into the sky. Step the foot in between the hands, rise up, warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Back heels on the floor, reach the arms up. Take the arm variation you did before. You're welcome to pivot the left foot out to the side to draw the hips more centered or squared. Good. Fine tune your alignment here, your base, your feet, your legs, your pelvis, the structure of this posture. Take one more deep breath in. And then open up to warrior two. And playing or exploring Mula Bandha, inhale. Exhale, draw the pelvic floor in and up. Inhale, release. Exhale, contract, drawing, tightening those muscles. Inhale, soften, let them spread. And then exhale, gather the muscles into the body. Inhale to release. Exhale to contract. Inhale, let it go. Exhale, actively draw those muscles in and up. Inhale, release. Then exhale, straighten the front leg, pivot and parallel the feet. Bring the arms out into cactus, turn the toes out, heels in, goddess pose once more. Lengthen the tailbone down to the ground. Maybe come back to that affirmation you kind of explored at the beginning. I have a right to be here. All my basic needs are met. I'm connected to my body and to earth. Putting our mind onto an affirmation can help steady the mind, to make the mind as equally as stable as the body in this pose. Or simply repeating lam, lam, lam. Sink a little bit deeper. Challenge yourselves a little bit more. I make my mamas in prenatal hold this for a long time. So you guys got this. Good. Straighten the legs, parallel the feet, extend the arms out, hands to hips. Inhale, feet parallel, look up. Exhale, forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana. Bring your hands to any variation you want to explore. You can interlace the hands behind the back. You can hold onto your big toes. Whatever feels good. Notice again where you tend to distribute your weight. Try to come somewhere in between the toe and the heel side of your feet. Release whatever hand position you have. Inhale, look up. And this time turn your left toes to the back of the mat, or the front of the mat. And heel toe yourself back into a Skandasana. So bend the left knee and flip the right toes off the floor. Good. And then take a bind, a half bind, hands to the support or to the ground. Try to find length into your spine though. Lift out of those hips. Instead of sinking down, if you're super flexible, the tendency is to collapse into the pelvis, but let's give that pelvis some structure, some support. So lift up and out by using the muscles in the core to lift out of the pelvis. And then begin to walk your way to the front of the mat for lizard pose on this side, heel toeing that left foot out wide, arms on the inside of the leg, back heel is lifted, and maybe take that left shoulder now underneath the left leg, playing around with airplane or hands to the floor, shifting the weight forward, maybe to practice the arm balance. So pivoting off that back foot, maybe extend the front leg first, kind of exploring what's accessible to you today. On this side, it might be different from the other side. Good. Take one more full breath wherever you are. And then make your way back to downward facing dog. Option to rest or to flow. Channeling the gunas or the qualities of the earth element, feeling steady, solid, stable. Good. Step or hop to the front of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach the arms overhead. And exhale the hands back into the heart center. Moving into tree pose, shift your weight into the left leg or left foot, spread your toes wide, and place your right foot either at your ankle for a toe stand, at your inner calf, or maybe your inner thigh. So strong foundation. Send your left leg, the roots of your left leg, down into the ground like a beautiful tree, spreading their roots out wide, feeling supported by the soil underneath us. And then with this strong foundation, we can find some lightness up above, maybe extending the arms up into the sky if that feels okay. Notice if you sink into that left hip, try to lift out of the left hip, find more structure, more support by engaging in the core here and engaging in the glute of the left leg. And then check in with the breath. Let the breath flow as you'll explore tomorrow with the second element of water. With this good foundation, trees need the water as well. So with this stable, steady body, try to find some fluid, water-like breath. And then slowly bring the hands back into prayer at the heart center. Draw the knee back towards the front and then extend the leg and release it down. Switch sides. So spread the right toes wide. Press through the ball and the heel of the foot. Lift the arch up and then take the left foot off the floor and place it on the calf, the inner thigh, or maybe just kickstand. Once you have the leg in position, then fine tune the posture by maybe micro bending in that standing knee to fire up the muscles. And then squeezing in the glute of the right hip or the right buttocks and trying to lift out of the hip. So notice if you sink in that right hip, lift up and out. Extending the arms if you wish to. And notice the breath. Gather the hands back into the heart center. Bring the leg back to center, extend the leg out in front of you and lower it down. Inhale, reach the arms up into the sky. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, step back to downward facing dog. Lower the knees down onto the floor. We're gonna take Triyang Mukha. So we're gonna sit onto your left seat, extend the right leg out in front of you. So the left knee is bent, tops of the foot is on the floor. And you can even sit up on a cushion or a block if you're leaning on one side. Extend that right leg. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lean forward and take a hold of the foot, maybe to do a little internal rotation. We did a lot of external rotation in the practice today, so finding some balance by internally rotating the femur bone in its hip socket. Couple of breaths here. And then inhale, rise up. Swing the back leg forward and then bend the right knee behind you, top of the foot onto the floor, both sit bones anchored down. Reach for the foot, inhale, lengthen, exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, releasing the foot. Swing the back leg out in front of you. Reach the arms forward and then slowly begin to lower onto your back. Draw the navel in and up. Protect your spine and lower all the way down onto the ground. Lying on your back. Hugging your knees in towards your chest once you arrive. Give yourself a nice hug. And then when you're ready, uncurl into Shavasana, our final posture. Feeling the earth underneath you. Absorb all her power and her energy and nutrients, nourishing your body and your mind. Sink into the sturdiness of the ground. Release anything else you need to release. And rest. Knowing that earth has your back. So as we think about taking this earth connection off of the mat into your everyday life, routine is helpful, structure is helpful, especially during times of transition. So come back to this feeling and sensation maybe of slowing down, feeling your feet on the floor of your sitting and you're up in your head, stressed and anxious. Feel your body in space, connect to the ground. And maybe even try a digital disconnect or a detox to get out of your head and back into your body. Maybe take time to walk through trees, feel your feet on the earth, and find other ways to nourish your body and your mind. Take a deep inhale and exhale, sigh it out. Inhale and exhale. One more time. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. If you'd like to stay here and take a longer Shavasana, you're more than welcome. I will close things up for the purpose of time. But if you want to continue to rest as I close out the practice, you're welcome to. If you're ready, when you're ready, bend your knees and roll to one side. And take your time to sit up. Find a seat available to you. Closing your eyes once you arrived if they're not already. Let's bring our hands into prayer at the heart center. And as you move through your day and want to come back to this earth element, if things get hectic and busy, or you're unsure about something, unsettled by something, remember this quote: I reclaim my right to be here. I reclaim my right to be here. Let's end with an Om. Inhale. Shanti, Shanti, peace to you all. Namaste. Thank you, beautiful souls. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you feel grounded and stable. Tomorrow we explore the water element with Carrie. She'll be teaching that class. So we'll hope to see you guys tomorrow at the same time. Check the email in your promotion folder, which is what we've heard has kind of been the issue, but hopefully you'll be able to find it. If you have any questions, you can quickly throw them in the chat right now.